morning everyone, it's 10:15. I'm in freaking Germany and the sun is shining. Can you see it here? Yeah, so I'm just gonna show you what I do with my little morning routine here. So first things first, it's coffee time. I'm just gonna show you a bit around in the house while I get my coffee. So I've got here like the little bathroom, you know, where I think you've seen it yesterday already. Then we got a big sort of staircase where you can go down. Got like a nice living area here, and an outside terrace. It's really nice outside. And then we've got our kitchen, and it's like packed. Right, so the thing is, my mom, she loves freaking mugs. Just have a look at this. This is like ridiculous. So any sort of coffee mug you can think of, and here are some more at the bottom. I think she has even more than that. So you're never gonna run out of a mug. Have you ever seen this advert from Ty Lopez when he says, "Oh, I'm here in my backyard," you know? Oh shit, I was about to say that. You can see our little backyard. So now it's time for coffee. And we've got this little machine here which does everything for you. You can program it and so on. And then it comes out nice black coffee. That's my first cup for today. So let's grab that. Let's taste it. Wow, fuck, that's hot. So the first question comes from Strimzy or Strimzet, I think. I don't know, I'm not really sure how to pronounce these YouTube names. If you write a comment, by the way, make sure that you leave your name so I can address you by your name, because the YouTube name is like, you know, if you want to. Anyway, so he's saying, Mark, last year I did a bulk. I ate too much, I put on too much fat, and now I'm struggling getting it off. He says, do you prep your meals, and maybe could you sum up some great low carb, high protein meals for us? Cheers from the Netherlands. So first of all, what I want to say is, if you followed my 1000 rep challenge for the whole 30 days, you've seen how I prep my meals. As I only eat one big meal at the end of the day, or at that time I did, I had quite a big calorie surplus, which I could then dig into a sort of relative big meal. And that comprised mostly of sort of the same foods. There was some sort of meat. I had a bit of carbs, like a bit of rice or potatoes or a little pita bread or something like that, and a massive salad and my greens. And then in the daytime, I would eat bananas and apples. That is sort of my diet when I go on to a cut. And the way I do it is that I try to stay in sort of a state where I feel slightly peckish, slightly hungry. Then I always know I'm in a calorie deficit, but that's just how it works for me. And then at nighttime, I would eat until I'm sort of satisfied. But yeah, I wouldn't go over my calorie allowance. I do calculate these meals at night, at least before I actually go on them. And I roughly know how much calories it is what I eat overnight, but then because I weigh myself every day, I know if I'm on target or not. So if I at one night ate too much, the next day will show that I didn't lose any weight, or I am sort of still the same. And you can see it also in terms of your body. You know, if you take a look in the mirror, you always see if you're sort of making progress or not. But if you're asking me, Mark, I've got everything figured out, like my calories, my macros, and you know, I do intermittent fasting, all that stuff. If you now want to know what I eat, then I need to make a different video. I'm writing a diet book called The 12-Week Chef, and that sort of takes everything into consideration, which I teach, but a bit like my 12-Week Athlete, which is the bodyweight program, and this is a complementary sort of diet side of things, but you can use it with any sort of approach. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete, if you're a bodybuilder, if you're a soccer player, whatever you do, the 12-Week Chef will still work. So I'm working on that. That might be for you, because we'll have recipes in there as well. So just stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and maybe, you know, you go into my website and make sure you hit the newsletter, or put your email in the newsletter, because I keep people updated on when these things come out. There we go. You know, I'm just unqualified in reading names. Anyway, what would you say for someone who is 36 years old and has knee troubles wanting to get back into shape? I just want to address this because a lot of people write me their age. They write, Mark, I'm 52, I'm 70, I'm 30. Which indicates to me that your age seems something which is bothering you in terms of, oh, it might be too late to get into shape. Generally speaking, your age has nothing to do with you being able to get into shape or not. Obviously there are, you've got your aging process and so on, and there are lots of things which will be getting a bit harder when you're older, but not impossible. I think that's what I'm trying to say. We all have our, in German you would say Wehwehchen, meaning something which is bothering you, maybe shoulder, maybe elbow, maybe knees, maybe shoe, maybe toes, maybe whatever, right? You have something, you had a little injury and now you're like, fuck, I can't get back into shape. So I just want to get this age thing out of the way. Now let's talk about the knee specific problem. Knees are quite important obviously because they're most involved in any sort of motion you do, in terms of walking, sitting down, standing up, lying down. Day-to-day life, knees are always involved. So what I would do, I would probably just stick to bodyweight exercises, at least for the lower part of your body, and maybe do mimicking movements, meaning let's say half bodyweight squats. So you just squat down to the pain point and then you go 10% up, and that's sort of the movement motion you go for. And then I would probably lie down on the back and I would just, extend and flex the knee fully, give it some rotations, make sure you do stretching as well, because stretching also has a lot of time, or tight muscles has a lot of time cause for pain. So if one muscle pulls on one joint very strongly and the other on the other as well, you have got imbalances in your joint, if that makes sense. That's why when you go to a massage therapist or when you do a bit of stretching, all of a sudden you say like, oh, my back pain went, I feel relief now. It is because your body wants to be in, I always say that, homeostasis. It just doesn't mean, a hormonal balance. It means an overall balance, which is also involved in your body posture. That's something I would recommend. And for the upper body, you always have the choice then to do weights, whatever you want. If you fancy weights, right, you can go into the bench press, you can do pull-ups, you can do loads of stuff to really get your hormone spike, your growth hormone out, because you would say, well, Mark, but I can't do heavy squats or heavy deadlifts, so how am I going to spike my growth hormone and testosterone? How does that all get up, and how do I build muscle? How do I lose fat? You can all do that just by upper body. I showed you in my 500 reps challenge, I have done 0 leg exercises and I was able to transform my body. So it is just a perception in the head that you think, just because people say you have to do squats, you have to do something with that, that is how you get your body changed. Just because the reason why people say is because the biggest muscle is in your leg, and that's why they say you need to burn as much calories as you can. And that all makes sense, but I just proved it wrong. You can also do it the other way around. And we have to play it by situation, really, right? I mean, if you've got an injury, you just can't do anything about it. There is no way you can do squats. So that's what I would suggest. Scene, I hope that helped you a little bit, and just let me know how you get on. So the next question comes from Trustball. He or she says, shit, I can't do even 3 pull-ups. How do I even start? And this is the thing. This challenge wasn't supposed to be for other people. So it was my challenge, meaning the amount of reps were just right for my purpose in terms of transforming my body. The question really is, do you want to do a challenge or do you want to improve your pull-ups? So if you want to improve your pull-ups, there are many ways of doing that, by, assisted pull-ups with someone pushing you up, taking a chair, putting a leg on the chair and then pushing yourself up a little bit, jumping pull-ups, negative pull-ups. There's so many ways of improving your pull-up. So if that's the case, that's what I would do. If you want to do a challenge and you can only do 3 pull-ups, then you take your 3 as your main measure and you do 3 pull-ups. And then you go into push-ups, squats, whatever, you do it again, 3 pull-ups. And then you might be able to do 3.5 or something like that. You have to challenge yourself with where you are at and not measure yourself against other people. When I say measure against other people, obviously there are competitions. When you do sprinting, you sprint against other people, but at the end of the day, it's your time, right? So yeah, I hope that helped you. Great, battery's empty. Need to switch and swap. The thing is, I have unpacked, but I need to find the charger now. I think it's in here. Yes! Another battery. See all this mess in here. Ha! Here we go! New battery! So, let's switch it. And boom! Here we go. See? I switched it. Now this one needs to get charged. This one, by the way, is a replacement battery, which is not the real deal. But who cares? Yeah, it's time to put in some contact lenses because I can't see anything without. Still see the beard challenge is going on. A lot of you guys like that, which is awesome. But you still haven't let me know what kind of style of beard. You're like, just, yeah, beard challenge. Let's just grow it as fast and big and as much as we can. Boom! I can see again. Fish oil with me from the UK, plus the creatine and ZMA, which is actually for sleeping. I haven't talked about this, but I take that sometimes. And then we've got, you know, vitamin D3, and this is actually vitamin D12. Not D12, B12. And here's a multivitamin, so that's what I'm taking now. I haven't had that today. And look at these ones, these babies, 2 liters of water every day. This is what I get in every single day, 2 of those, which is 4 liters of water. I make sure I get that in. Like I told you, I can't stress that enough. Water is so freaking important for you, so make sure you get that in. So next question comes from Kaney, or maybe it's more like a statement. He says, can someone set this straight for me? I believe doing exercises every day with no rest would not build muscle because of the micro tears and the need of rest. But this guy, meaning me, makes me question this theory. So someone please explain this, which is the method is easiest and most effective to build muscle. You know what I find very interesting is that this 500 rep challenge really rattled some beliefs of people, because what people don't get is they don't listen. Because what I said at the very beginning of the video is I challenge myself, not anyone else. And I also said this is not a training program, right? So first of all, that is something I need to make clear again. Did you get it now? To answer your question, obviously training with no rest is not a good idea. It's absolutely bullshit, and that is something I would not recommend, because it was a challenge, it was something to do for fun, to do on a very short period of time. Like 2 weeks is a manageable amount of time, and if I would have failed, meaning my body would have been able to do it, I would have quit. You know, I mean, it's that simple. So I was able to recover enough to be able to do the next day. What's the most easiest and effective way to build muscle? It's always, there's something called progressive overload, meaning that you over time will increase the amount of weight you are using just to challenge your body on a regular basis. So in terms of strength training and hypertrophy training, there's a really easy to follow protocol, and that is that you do a rep range from 4 to 6, loading your load something like 85% of your one rep max, and you do 3 sets of an exercise. So let's say deadlifts, you do 3 sets of 4 to 6 reps with 85% of your 1 rep max. And as soon as you hit the 6th rep, so if you can do 7, you will realize that that weight isn't hard enough for you. But that only happens, you only increase the weight if you are able to hit the 7th rep in all 3 goes, in all 3 sets. Because you might be very strong in the very first set and you're like, yeah, I can rep out the 7th one, but then in the next one you drop down to 5 and then you go back to 5, right? That's a really easy protocol for increasing muscle mass and strength at the same time, like hypertrophy training, when you're into weights. Now, in terms of body weight training, you could do the same thing if the exercise is hard enough for you. So for example, if you do pull-ups, if you do push-ups, if you do, you know, handstand push-ups or something like that, and you're able to stay in that rep range, you would have sort of the same effect. Other than that, new research came out and says, well, you can also do these to failure to build and increase muscle mass and strength as well. So you would do push-ups to failure, you would do pull-ups to failure, you would do bodyweight squats to failure. That also builds muscle, and this is something I need to stress here, because when you look at some of the calisthenic guys, they have amazing bodies. You look at gymnasts, they mostly just do bodyweight training. At my university there was the Olympic team of gymnasts. They never picked up a freaking weight. All they did is they used their body on the rings. Ring training is amazing to develop a strong, massive physique. And then obviously all of that ties in with diet. So you need to make sure that you fuel your body in the right way. So what I always say is make sure you get enough protein in. The way I do it is I take the sufficient amount of protein to be able to sustain muscle mass and even build it, which research supports is 0.82 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Then how I do it with my clients, I then start off with sort of 20% fat, rest carbs, and that's the starting point for everyone, and then we see how we roll. Because some people are, like I many times explained here on this channel, are carb resistant or something like that, or carb sensitive, meaning they don't respond well to carbs, they need to up their protein intake. Some even respond better to a high fat diet. So this is something I then coach them face to face, and we see how we roll. And also the calorie deficit or surplus is important to see where we're going, you know, if someone wants to lose weight or build muscle. You know, there's so many controversies out there, I do understand that, but I hope this helped you a little bit on the way. If you have more, if you want to know more detailed stuff, leave me a more detailed question, I'll answer that. All right, last one for today comes from Finn, and he says, oh, I was wondering, what is this, like a halo? No, so it's actually a lamp anyway. So he says, Mark, I'm trying to lose weight, and I'm gonna try to do something like my challenge again. I love that people are doing their own challenges, which is great. And he says, I'm probably not gonna be able to do all the push-ups, like the 100 push-ups. Any tips on increasing the push-up rep ranges? Well, Finn, you know, it's like with everything. You have to keep doing it to get better at it. Now, one easy way to increase rep ranges for certain exercises by transforming that exercise or using an easier version of it. So for example, with the push-up, what I would do is I would do push-ups on your knees, like the women push-up. It sounds funny, but that is a good way to do it if you can do those. Or you do lying push-ups is the next step. So you lie on your chest and you push yourself all the way up, and then you go all the way back down until your chest touches the floor, making sure that every push-up is in the correct form. So you don't just lift off your upper body and then your bum gets up into the air. Make sure that you push yourself all the way up from the floor. Let me show you. I'll just show you how to do that. So what I mean is, you're lying down all the way onto the floor, and now when you push yourself up all the way, and then you lie back down. What you don't want to do is you don't want to push yourself up like this, and then your butt comes up, and then you push it up. It means you've got, you know, not enough strength in your core. So make sure that here you engage your core and everything, and then your bum lifts up with the arms into the push-up, and then back down. And that's how you can rest in between. Another way of developing strength or developing, you know, power in terms of the push-up might be, the next step is you do a bit of negative eccentric movements. So you can either put your hands next to your chest, or you put it a bit further away. Make sure your elbows stay sort of in a 45-degree angle, pointing backwards. And so when you push up, now you decrease slowly. You go down 3, 2, 1, all the way down to the floor. And you can make it even slower, like on a count of 5. So you push it up, on 1, boom, up, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. That is amazing, because that, you know, that tires you out so freaking quick. That's something I do a lot with my clients to develop strength in terms of pull-ups as well. So I let them do a jumping pull-up, so they pull themselves up, they lock in, and then they try to hold as long as they can, which is most of the time not long, and the weight will pull you down. And that's how you develop strength in arms, back, and so on. Same principle works for push-ups. Give that a try. Welcome, this is German breakfast, my friends. Bread rolls. And now we need some coffee, right? I think so. Okay, here we go. Time to do some work. Let's close the door. Boom. Stop laughing. There you go. Yeah, this is nice with all the trees here and stuff. Got my camera with me. Time to enjoy the sun. Oh wow. See, someone is warmy today here in the car. Alright, so we need to get this thing here, that lamp, into that car. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. We'll give it a try. So that failed. We didn't make that. We didn't get the lamp into the car. Another plan. Okay, second try. We are dreaming. Boom, we made it. See, we've done it. Whatever she's doing, I don't know what she's doing. but the lamp is inside the freaking car. Close it! And who's gonna sit where? Shall I sit here? Yeah, so basically my mom is retiring and she bought some stuff. Yeah, coming! Alright everyone, it is 2:50 and I'm actually gonna go and do a little workout session. I thought I'll film it. The thing is, I haven't signed up with a gym yet, so I'm basically going to a local playground. And I'm gonna show you how you can use the playground for a workout. So, you always ask me, Mark, how can you train? What can you do? So stay tuned, I'll show you. So I got my rings with me, I've got my chalk, towel, some water. Always make sure you've got water with you. Got my GoPro here, so we're gonna use that, a towel, and my other camera.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious.
Yes, I made it! So you just have to be creative sometimes when you're at like something like a little playground. Just use what's around you. The best thing is just try to think like a kid again. Try to think of what did you do when you were a little child, and then try balancing, try hopping onto things off. You know, just be a bit creative. I'm challenging you to be creative. Done my workout now at my local outdoor gym hub, whatever you want to call it, and yeah, I'm gonna come here a couple of times now, and it's also kind of warm. Today is like 22 degrees, something like that. It's not that. Normally it's 30 degrees here, and the humidity where we are here in the part of Berlin which we are in, you know, you can see I'm a bit of sweaty. I mean, obviously I did a little workout, but yeah, all good for Monday. Good start. Now it's time to keep it up. I'm gonna think of a new beard shape. I do like beard, and this thing at the top, the man bun thing, looks a bit like a samurai, doesn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, someone said look like a cyborg or something, like out of a cinema movie. I got a new chair. Here's my movable desk. So this chair itself costs 1,100 euros. Normally when you sit down in a chair you can really like, oh shit, I need to get out. This one is like freaking amazing. That's how we roll here. Easy peasy. There you go. Look at this. This is basically alcohol. This is as big as my hand. I'm gonna be drunk after that. But it's ouzo, I can't drink it, otherwise I'm gonna throw up. What the hell is this? Oh my god. Not for me. As you can see, it's already dark. It's nearly 10 o'clock. It's time to hit the pillow, go to bed. So I'll tune in tomorrow, so punch the like button, punch the subscribe button. I'll see you guys freaking tomorrow.